morning, everybody. Happy Friday. And I just looked at my webcam going, holy crap, do I look orange? So we're going to fix that while I'm right here. I'm hoping y'all are having a good morning. It's Friday, and Fridays are just good naturally because you know what? We love us some Fridays. So hopefully you're having a good day. I'm going to fix this because there we go. Oh, there we go. Does that help? Not really. Good God, what the hell is going on here? Let's try that. We're going to try the contrast back up. There we go. And there, I look normal again. All right. Anyway, the Capitol's still standing. That's a good thing, right? And I got to think that the insurrection from yesterday failed. Well, failed to materialize. It's pretty embarrassing just what they were saying that was going to happen that didn't happen. And I thought maybe there'd be some excitement yesterday, but there wasn't. Just a lot of fencing and guards. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about a whole bunch of stuff. I'm going to just get caught up in the morning headlines because there's a whole bunch of stuff. And I didn't even get the Discord. I'll have to do a special show tomorrow to get all the stuff off the Discord too. So anyway, get ready for the show. I'm going to play the intro like right now. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Knight. And stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet. And welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel on this lovely Friday, the 5th of March, 2021. This is the 545th episode of the Morning Night Live. I'm so glad you're here. Everyone grab your cups or whatever you got. I have my cup of reparations here. I don't care if you have a beer, wine, whatever. Just everyone have a sip real quick. In the honor of that dude that writes Dilbert. No, not in his honor, because I don't have any reason to honor him today, but I have a reason to honor many of you because I appreciate that you all come and see me sometimes, and a lot of you more often than just sometimes, and I just always have to appreciate that. So let's say good morning to the people who are already here in the chat. Now, first person in the chat today was Mr. Justin Anderson, who gets the bell. And Justin Anderson is the first sponsor of the show today. Remember, you guys are the sponsors of the show through helping us grow, either through sharing the streams, retweeting what I tweet about the streams, your generous donations on Streamlabs or SuperChats or Venmo or Cashapp. And so thank you for all of you who sponsor the show just on the regular. Thank you, Justin Anderson. Though was the first $4.99 on Super Chat. Didn't show up well, it's up right there on the screen right now. Who just says good morning. And well, obviously, good morning to you and congratulations on being first today. Also, good morning to San. Nice to see you. No, I didn't sleep. How'd your comment not get vampersanded though? I don't know what that means. Also, I see 1 hour and counting to the best morning news. Oh, I see how it didn't get it. Yeah, sometimes the thing rolls over a half hour before the show. Apparently didn't this morning. Anyway, also good morning to Fox P2. Good morning, Becca Fairley. Thank you for tweeting out the show this morning like you always do. Good morning, Somnambule Nation, who also tweeted out the show this morning. Thank you again. Also, Gunfox61, the ever trusty administrator of the Discord server for the Dawg Knight Channel. Also, good morning, Jonathan Peterson. Nice to see you. Hig 1966. I'm going to start calling Hig Florida Man because he and Cindy have a new abode, at least a home base in Florida. Y'all still travel a little bit though, right? You're still planning on traveling. They have a home base to call their own. So congratulations again on that. I meant to tell you that the other day. I think I congratulated on you closing on your home. Congratulations. Also, good morning, Mike Savage Blarg. Also, good morning, Drayden's, Cultist 4, Legit Low Talker, C. Thomas, the peasant in the house. Good morning, Furry Kitten. Good morning, why are you so angry? That's not a question. That's a person in the chat. Happy Friday. We made it. Oh, there you go. I hear you. Good morning, Scotty Dubs. Good morning. Oh, and I got to scroll a little more. Good morning, James PFP with the good morning. Good morning, Tyler F. Let's see. I'm scrolling down now. Let's see. We're getting there. We're getting there. Furry Kitten. I think I said Furry Kitten. Did I say Furry Kitten? Well, I'm saying it now. Good morning, Furry Kitten. Good morning, Zach Osborne. Good morning, Aaron Meredith. Spambot22. Cynical Lindsay. Zablé. I don't know why I always try to do that in a French accent. I just do. Zablé. You know, Zablé. Anyway. I didn't say anything there. Good morning, D.I. Freighter Watcher. Katie did skate. Jonas Pedersen. Where am I getting here? Am I getting close to this? Jonas Pedersen and Jonathan Peterson are here, right? I think I got that right. Also, good morning to Sean DW. I always, every time I see that, I don't know why I think of. The DW always makes me think Dallas Fort Worth, but you're not from Dallas. Anyway. Good morning, Sean. How you doing? Good morning, Jesse Leon. Good morning to You're a Ridiculous Lunatic, and the chat jumped on me. There we go. Good morning, Bastard Beast. Simic Magic. That's a new name I haven't seen, or I think I've seen the name before, but I haven't seen it for a while. And I think I'm getting there. HP Lovecraft. Nice to have you back. Let's see. Oh, and then Higgs laughing because that is the plan to make that the home base. Good morning, Scribe Light, Dog Thrapple. And for those of you who don't understand that, just roll with it, okay? Good morning, Tony A. and Robert Lapine. Oh, and Chef James is back. Nice to see you back. And Fight for Your Rights is in the house with, and sponsoring the show, too, with what's that? Who's on the 10? Is that Hamilton? Can't remember. Anyway, who says, and there's the sound. Thank you for being a sponsor of the show, Fight for Your Rights, with the 10 spot saying, Happy Friday, P-Dawg. So, all right, we're all here. We're all good. And Atheist Icon is lurking in the background. All right, let's talk a little bit about, riots. Or lack thereof. Now, the first article I have here today is from Business Insider, and I don't know, I can't tell by the tone of this article if they're happy or if they're disappointed that nothing happened in the Capitol yesterday. Now, if you're not familiar with Business Insider, good morning, Avocados Diaboli, by the way. Did Chef James get promoted? Tell me what that's about. Anybody? Okay. Discord mods. There is a mod channel for mod talk. Oh, cool. I don't know. You'll have to tell me about the promotion. By the way, before I keep going too, if you're not subscribed to the channel, if you're just here by chance or someone brought you over here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. That helps, and you have to hit the little bell so that you get notifications. And you can follow me on social media, any of these places up here: Twitter, Minds, Gab, Parler, or Cloud Hub. That's not up there yet. I'm gonna change my my graphics here pretty soon. I'm long overdue for changing my graphics. I used to change them like every 3 months, and I'm long overdue. So we'll be changing that, and I'll get the right information up there. Also, if you ever want to find information, you can go to PDawgKnight Live. But even a better place is to go to the Discord server. Lots of great information there. Replays of the show are listed there. The links to the articles from the shows, and then tons of news. There's a few people who are very, very diligent about posting news up there that is all kind of similar to the kind of news we look for on the show. So be sure to join the Discord server if you are want to do that. All right, now Business Insider. So Business Insider is a website. When I see the word Business Insider, I usually don't think leftish, but Business Insider is somewhat leftish. At least their editorial slant is. But Pretty good publication, and usually has interesting articles, but it has a little bit of a left slant, which is fine. I don't care if it has a left or right slant. I'll I like to disclose that anyway. But I can't tell from their article here if they're happy or disappointed that the second great selfie insurrection did not happen. Here's their article. Photos show intense security around U.S. Capitol ahead of a QAnon insurrection that nobody showed up for. Now, I saw this just before I started the show, so I haven't even read the article. But the elements in this are very interesting already, just from the title. So the intense security around the U.S. Capitol because of a QAnon insurrection. They've been trying to build up QAnon as if something significant out there, which it's really not. I mean, if you really pay attention to Republican, red, right wing, whatever, Trump-esque politics, QAnon's a bit of a joke to most people. And then half the people don't even know what QAnon is, had never heard of it before January 6th. And, they try to make it sound like it's a huge conspiracy theory and a bunch of very, very dangerous people. When in reality, it's just some knucklehead on the internet who posts things and tries to pretend that he's the right-wing Nostradamus, so to speak. He tries to pretend that he predicts all these things and they make, kind of make up some stupid shit. And I almost put him on the same level as like 4chan trolls, not the people who'd spend time on 4chan and just talk and stuff, but the ones who make up shit just to see if it'll stick in the media. And that's kind of what QAnon does, although some of the QAnon stuff is stuck with a very, very tiny fraction of Trump supporters. Okay, so there are some people who read that stuff and they go, "Oh yeah, Q said this and Q said that," but it's a tiny subset of even Trump supporters. You know what I'm saying? So, thank you. Thank you, GunFox61, for sponsoring the show this morning. Who says, well, Marty, riots have been happening by Antifa and BLM members for almost a year, but I guess the left-wing media sweep that under the rugs as fast as they do with who is a pedo, who is getting something on the side or harassing women's staff. Well, that is the truth, and thank you, GunFox61, for always being a very generous supporter of the show, and today, a sponsor. We really appreciate that. We're going to get into that, because I'm going to talk about a little bit about how the difference. I have two articles, one on it features one particular person that they happen to be in the prosecuting mood for, and then another thing that how some other people have been ignored. So we'll get into that. Thank you for bringing that up. Also, good morning. Did I just see Amy in Connecticut? How you doing? And Justin Anderson, welcome back. Welcome back to the show. So anyway, this article. So here's their highlights. There was enhanced security present in Washington, D.C. on March 4th, only weeks after the Capitol riot. Well, at least they're calling it a riot, not an insurrection, because it really was not an insurrection or, a coup attempt. QAnon is what happens when you take 4chan too seriously. Yeah, isn't that truth? Isn't that the truth, C. Thomas? I'd tell you. Someone else, QAnon equals TYT. Yeah, thank you, Justin. That's funny too. So anyway, and then the second one, intelligence. Now, we talked about this yesterday. Intelligence reports had indicated far-right extremists were plotting violence and protests. Bullet point number 3, QAnon conspiracy theorists believe Donald Trump would be inaugurated on Thursday. So let's get into the article. Thousands of National Guard and Capitol Police patrolled the streets in Washington, D.C. Thursday ahead of an anticipated insurrection by far-right supporters of Donald Trump that never materialized. Earlier in the week, U.S. law enforcement and security agencies warned they had received intelligence or a lack of intelligence. Hello, Zero the Hero. That a far-right group planned to breach the Capitol. Now, I'm going to just give one of these right now. I don't believe they necessarily got intelligence, okay? Now, I know that they probably, they're probably, you know, how the feds are on all the message boards and whatever. They probably just got some just stupid, you know. Again, I consider this similar to the 4chan trolls who just kind of make stuff up or makes, you know, they banter about on certain ideas, and so then these knuckleheads and U.S. law enforcement take them a little too serious. Good morning, Lit Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadians in the house. Okay, the Capitol Police announced that it was taking steps to enhance our security posture on days including March 4th. March 4th was when some QAnon conspiracy theory supporters believed that Donald Trump would be inaugurated for a second time and his deep state enemies vanquished. Now, I don't doubt there are some people who believe that. There are some people who just held on or holding on to that hope. But I'm trying to figure out who this far-right group, quote unquote, they think was going to be doing the actual breaching. They've never said. Now, one article said that a particular militia was going to do it, but I ain't buying any of it. Anyway, the anticipated threat placed Capitol Security Service on high alert, with the atmosphere still tense in the wake of the Capitol breach by Trump supporters on January 6th. Now, notice there weren't any events going on in Washington, D.C. March 4th. There wasn't any. Here's the other thing. So if they really believed that this was going to happen, do you think there was any major kind of traffic, unusual traffic into DC? Were there hotels filling up? Were there spaces that were, you know, where people were beginning to stay because they were planning this very organized breach on the Capitol? Or even within X number of miles of the Capitol? You'd think they would have, if this was actually happening, right? You'd think they have enough intelligence assets that would be able to figure out, okay, there's a bunch of people moving here from specific places that are associated with this specific group, and yet hear about any of that? I'm gonna, hopefully over the next few days, maybe they will find some way to justify some of this BS, but I just don't, don't think so. In the wake of the riot, the Capitol has been encircled with razor wire fence on Thursday. Razor wire fence. On Thursday, National Guard deployed to D.C., patrolled its perimeter to deter further violence. Now, unlike certain groups that Gun Fox mentioned in his little sponsorship message up here, has there been continued violence anywhere in the country related to the election? Has there been any protest? Has there been any giant gathering? I mean, I would count CPAC, but I'm not, because there was no violence at CPAC, and they kind of had that planned out a long time ago. But have you seen, like, you know, it's not like that people have been protesting in the streets for months, and then all of a sudden there's going to be this violence, right? And yet we've seen that, as Gun Fox mentioned, for over a year. Really weird how they just keep playing this up and playing this up. In fact, I don't even remember them putting up fencing and barbed wire when they were trying to burn down buildings in Washington, D.C., when they were defacing monuments, when they were tearing down statues. Where was all this razor wire and fencing and National Guard presence then? Although the one time there was the National Guard surrounding the Lincoln Memorial. I remember that. And everyone was up in arms. They didn't like the optics. But there was a reason to be worried about that. I don't buy it in this case. I just don't. Sorry. On Constitution Avenue, the main thoroughfare leading something to the Capitol, the National Guard set up checkpoints So here's pictures, I guess, of the checkpoint here. And here's National Guardmen out in front of the Capitol building. The usually bustling Capitol Hill was quiet, with lawmakers and their staff advised to stay away from the area for the day. I think they just got trolled here. I really do. I just think nothing was going to happen. With paranoia rife in far-right forums. Really? I would like to see where they're talking about. Ahead of March 4th. Let's see. Insider. Oh, here's the... I'll link that article. Extremists and Trump supporters also decided to stay away. A masked man was questioned by the Secret Service near the White House. He's wearing a black Guy Fawkes mask and no shirt and a tie and a jacket. That's a weirdo. National Guard patrolled the Capitol building itself. On the steps of the Capitol, Representative Al Green of Texas took a break as heavily armed troops patrolled nearby. Well, he looks disappointed that there's no action today. Good Lord. And then in Congress halls, National Guard was stationed to ensure no breaches of the Capitol complex from any source. So anyway, there's more. The day passed with nothing happening, basically. So FTG, let's look at this. Let's see their source here. QAnon influences. This is from March 3rd, Wednesday. QAnon influencers. That's that. Now, let's talk about something that is an oxymoron. Emphasis on moron. QAnon influencers. Good Lord. Good morning, Noah Reed. Notice the talk about South Africa. White farmers are getting killed too while getting their land taken. Yeah, that's still happening. That's not a good thing in South Africa. And by the way, welcome to the show. Yeah. QAnon influencers are attacking their movement's hyped March 4th event, calling it a false flag conspiracy theory. Well, listen to that. Maybe they've gotten something right. Good Lord. Okay, hang on a second. See, this is, okay, QAnon conspiracy theorists planned March 4th as their next big date, claiming Trump would be inaugurated. Some of the movement's influencers are now claiming that conspiracy theory is a false flag. Yeah, well, it looks like they were right for once. Little broken clock theory there, right? Conspiracy theory movement already looking forward to its next goalpost. Well, what is their next goalpost? Let's see what this. Oh, this is going to be good. When Vice President Joe Biden was inaugurated on January 20th, the QAnon conspiracy theory community set its sights on March 4th, the day they baselessly believed former President Donald Trump would be actually inaugurated and retake power. QAnon, now look, I like how they give them they love to give them adjectives. Okay, so QAnon, the false far right conspiracy theory. Now let's analyze that. So is it falsely far right or falsely far right conspiracy theory? Or anyway, alleging Trump is fighting a deep state cabal of human traffickers, chose March 4th because it used to be the inauguration date for American presidents before the ratification of the 20th Amendment in 1933. Trump international hotel prices reportedly skyrocketed last month as QAnon believers planned flock to Washington for the imagined inauguration. Now, I wonder, was that hotel full? Were all the hotels full in Washington on the 3rd? Just curious. Good morning, Duck Dog. April 3rd would have been a much better time to pull it off as a joke. Well, April 1st. Good morning, Special Can Acid also. But now QAnon influencers, again, an oxymoron, are backtracking via another conspiracy theory. They claiming that March 4th date is a false flag event planned by outsiders to make the whole movement look dumb, as David Gilbert reported for Vice. Oh, that's exactly where I want to get my news, is Vice. Not. Anyway, one Wednesday post on a QAnon Telegram channel with 195,000 subscribers called the plan BS.
Come on, man.
In January, that same channel told their followers the start date for the new republic is March 4th. Another channel run by a major QAnon influencer, hello, Annalyn, with 71,000 subscribers, made a similar claim on Wednesday morning. March 4th is a trap, the post said, sharing a screenshot of a Q drop, a cryptic message from the anonymous message board who began the conspiracy movement in 2017 that included the March 4th date and the word trap. Q knew, the post said. Q has not posted on the message board. I wonder if that's 8. Is that supposed to be 8chan? Or I don't know what that is. 8kun is whatever it's called. Since December 2020. So, hey, Q hasn't posted for a long time. Okay, I'm not. You can read the rest of this. In other words, the false flag apparently was a false flag. But it does keep National Guard troops in Washington, D.C., and now they're being requested at the Capitol for 2 more months. Great. Good morning, Jade and Emerald. National Guard has been asked to stay in Washington, D.C. for another 60 days, a National Guard source confirmed to Breitbart News after Representative Alyssa Slotkin stated Thursday afternoon that she was hearing from contacts about the request. Slotkin, a member of the Armed Services Committee in the House and former Pentagon official, said she had heard from contacts at the National Guard that Capitol Police asked them to extend their mission for 60 days and that the Guard is soliciting states to send contributions. No one likes seeing the fortress-like security around the Capitol, and no one wants to again have a security problem in and around this symbolic place, Lockett wrote on Twitter. Here's the thing. They keep playing this up, and they keep playing this up, and then the next time, the other, those other people who like to have demonstrations, so to speak, and riots, they're going to take it down, and then those other people are going to start breaking in, I think. Now that they've seen it's pretty easy. I don't know. Slotkin added, but whether an extension has been requested or the mission is indeed terminating on March 12th, it is critical that members of Congress get a briefing on what's behind these decisions. Propaganda. That's what I say, propaganda. The Pentagon has recently, as Tuesday, said it had no additional requests from law enforcement authorities for an extension of the National Guard's mission to assist local law enforcement, which was slated to end next week on March 12th. However, Capitol Police said on Wednesday they have information regarding a possible plot by a military group to breach the Capitol on Thursday. That would have been yesterday. Hello, infamous one. And so on and so forth. So anyway, that shit didn't happen, but they're going to try to get him to stay for another 2 months. Some people are not happy about that, though. I got to tell you, the people are sick of it. Plus the fact that the mission National Guard, which serves some less than standard, or I would say substandard food, and it's just the whole thing's a bad look. I just got to tell you. All right, let's move on. By the way, just for those of you who were worried about the armed insurrection, or that they keep talking about, well, apparently they were not armed. Oh, yeah, we already knew that. FBI official tells Senate no one recovered guns during the Capitol Hill riots. FBI Assistant Director Jill Sanborn told Senator Ron Johnson in Wisconsin that no one recovered any guns during the Capitol Hill riots on January 6th. His question was, how many firearms were confiscated in the Capitol or on Capitol grounds during that day? Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson asked Jill Sanborn, the FBI official, during a Senate Homeland Security hearing. To my knowledge, we have not recovered any on that day or from any other arrest at the scene at this point, replied Sanborn. Well, at this point, the point when he said this, it was already over, so he only asked you how many recovered that day. What do you mean at this point? Okay, the answer is 0. She says, I don't want to speak on behalf of the Metro and Capitol Police, but to my knowledge, none, she added. Sanborn also said that the shots that killed Ashley Babbitt were the only ones fired on that day. Officials charged over 300 people in connection with the riots. None of them have a weapons charge against them. If you want to watch that, the video is in the article by Legal Insurrection. Good morning, Johnny Hellcat. Good morning, Hypnagogic Monk. Welcome back. Nice to have you here. So, so that's so far everything they say since January 6th seems to be bullshit. All right. Real quick, just a reminder, the Morning Night Live is sponsored by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Please remember to, if you haven't liked it so far, well, if you like what you're hearing, what you see, hit the like button, right? You know how that works. And then also share the stream. You can follow me on any of these social media where I do notifications myself, or subscribe to the channel and click the bell so that make sure you get notifications. And you can sponsor the show with Super Chats and or Streamlabs. What I said, I made a new term for the Streamlabs Super Chats yesterday. By the way, Gunfox61.
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
I almost forgot to do that. Well, I did forget to do it. Now I remembered because I looked up, because I did reset that, and I see your name up there. And yes, the Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day is exclusively through the Streamlabs donations, because that's the only one I can track that way anyway. But I like Streamlabs anyway. So, and Streamlabs has been with me since the beginning. I didn't have to have 1,000 subscribers for Streamlabs, YouTube, but I'm over the 1,000 subscriber mark for YouTube, so you can do it either way, whichever is more convenient for you, whichever is easier for you. You can give YouTube more of your money, or you can never mind. All right, that's the shill. Let's go on here. People aren't happy about the troops in Washington and the barbed wire fence, and apparently there's a petition to remove that stuff, which I think is fantastic. Apparently that petition has roughly 25,000 signatures so far, so that's one of the reasons I'm highlighting this. Good morning, Selected Boy.
Yeah, boy.
Nice to see you in the chat. And also somebody else showed up that I hadn't said hi to yet. I'll figure it out in a minute as I scroll. Oh, the one who, as in the one who tubes, lurking like a motherfucker. Still waiting on my "He is the one" audio sample from Matrix, bro. Come on, man. He is the one? Oh, like, you mean like, he is the one. Is that the one you wanted? I guess I have to go look that one up. Because, I have to actually pull it from the Matrix. Okay, you know what? Remind me in the comment section of this stream, and we'll take care of that. He is the one. I know that's not the one you want, but you could clip that too. Anyway, all right, let's keep going here. By the way, and Uncle Bad Touch is in the house.
Come on, man.
We know who you are. We know exactly who you are, Uncle Bad Touch. And also, good morning, Cynical Lindsay. And anyone else I may have missed. There's a whole bunch of new people in here, so I'm going to try to keep up with it. All right, here we go. Petition to stop Capitol Hill fence hits 25,000 signatures. Well, now that I know the petition's out there, I'm going to be promoting it like a motherfucker. Like in the immortal words of the one who. Launched 1 month ago, the "Don't Build a Permanent Security Fence Around the U.S. Capitol" petition was started by the, quote, the "Don't Fence the Capitol" group, which I've never heard of, but we're going to open that tab. A permanent fence punishes we the people from seeing and accessing the people's house. For the petition reasons, visitors and residents of D.C. would be punished by a permanent fence, a permanent scar on our beautiful city, and would lose access to this beautiful beacon of democracy, republic. And the petition also notes that security failures of January 6th would not have been prevented with permanent fencing. Okay. Anyway, that's I linked the. Is this the petition right here? Okay, so I did link the petition on here. If you want to share that on wherever you do your social media thing. Good morning, Francis Barrett. Motherfucker. So that'll be in the tabs today. After the show, I'll add the tabs to the description down below, which I got to make sure that I always forget to reset that when I do my editing. So I'll just put a little after the show here. Oh my gosh, why am I singing Baby Elephant Walk? After the show, ... And save. All right. Where was I here? Next thing. Oh, that's the don't defense. Now let's talk about how we've got an anecdote today about how some of these so-called insurrectionists are being handled in Washington, D.C. And then I have a contrasting story regarding another type of unruly group of people. So let's start with this one, because this is kind of a bummer of a story. Okay, so here's this kid. Let's see, what's his name again? His name is Bruno Joseph Kua. I'll just say Kua, even, and hopefully someone, well, if his family ever sees this, you know. Bruno Kua lives on a 3-acre farm in central Georgia with his parents and 2 younger siblings. The 18-year-old likes to fish and build tree houses. Neighbors, family, and friends and classmates describe him as a hard-working, kind, respectful, and patriotic. He's not into drugs or alcohol. His biggest high last year was organizing Trump truck rallies in his community. Before he traveled to Washington, D.C. on January 5th with his mom and dad to hear President Trump's speech the next day, Bruno was finishing online classes to earn his high school diploma. His mother, a veterinarian, stopped working years ago to homeschool her children. Like many teenagers interested in politics, Bruno is a bit of a rabble-rouser and a social media loudmouth. The Kuas, after hearing the president's speech on January 6th, walked to Capitol Hill. Bruno made his way into the building. The teen later posted on Parler that he, quote, stormed the Capitol with hundreds of thousands of patriots. Yes, we physically fought our way in. Now Bruno sits in jail in Washington, D.C., waiting trial for his involvement in the January 6th Capitol breach, the youngest of the nearly 300 people so far arrested under the U.S. Justice Department's unprecedented investigation into events of the day. Unlike tens of thousands of protesters who occupied the nation's capital for months, including young people who bragged about it in a Washington Post magazine, Kua will be given no mercy. Neither will his parents, Joseph and Elise. Bruno was arrested February 5th by FBI agents in Atlanta. A grand jury indicted the high schooler on 12 counts, including assaulting a police officer and possessing a dangerous or deadly weapon. I wonder what that was, because there were no guns found. For the first 3 weeks following his arrest, Kua languished in solitary confinement before being transported to a jail in Oklahoma City, where he shared a cell with 30 other inmates. His family, like the families of dozens of January 6 defendants, has been denied the opportunity to post bail. And there's a chance the teen will remain behind bars until at least May, when his trial is scheduled to begin. U.S. District Court Judge Randy Moss, not the famous receiver, is weighing whether to finally release Bruno back to his parents or keep him detained for at least another 2 months. Moss seems inclined to side with the government lawyers who insist Bruno is a danger to the community based on social media posts expressing outrage about the election, mocking Democrats, including Joe Biden. Oh no! Mocking Joe Biden? Damn. Yes, check your logic. The Capitol is still standing. If anyone's wondering what that meant, yes, the Capitol is still standing. And and encouraging protesters to bring pepper spray, tasers, baseball bats to the Capitol. Big talk for a kid traveling with his mom and dad. Some of the posts being used as evidence against him, in fact, are dated after January 6th. Thank you, Marty, who says, Marty, they are all political prisoners. So someone named Marty is the sponsor of the show. So I didn't know there's another Marty in the chat. Make yourself known. Who is Marty? I don't know who Marty is. It's not me. I'm not donating to myself. Anyway, thank you. Good morning, Thomas Cleaver. Nice to have you here. All right. But according to federal prosecutors, his rants on Parler make Bruno a national menace. Yeah, I bet. This small sample of public social media posts on the platform Parler by the defendant in this case evinces a full picture of who this defendant really is. Really? Nobody, see, because there is no such thing as hyperbole on the internet, is there? I'm sure that this is one of the most dangerous, hardened criminals in America, and he deserves to be behind bars in solitary confinement until he can go to trial where they will promptly find him guilty and send him to the gulag for re-education. Anyway, so they're saying he's a radicalized man with violent tendencies and no remorse for his participation in the violent insurrection that occurred at the U.S. Capitol. Assistant U.S. Attorney Kimberly Paschal wrote in objection to Bruno's pretrial release. Holy smokes. Oh, that's Gunfox. No, but, well, other people, he's not the only one who calls me Marty. Was that Gunfox? Thank you, Gunfox, for being a sponsor of the show, of course. And then if people could call me Marty, I tell you down Marty at the beginning of the show. Anyway, everyone knows who I am. Wow. No remorse. And there he is at the Capitol, just standing there in a MAGA hat. Oh my gosh, the great selfie insurrection. Further, Bruno's refusal to accept that Joe Biden fairly won the presidency is more proof he should stay in jail, prosecutors say. Quote, the offenses committed by the defendant illuminate characteristics inconsistent with a person who could follow orders given by this court or indeed any branch of the federal government. Good God. The defendant has espoused disbelief in the outcome of the 2020 presidential election, which is illegal, and violently acted on that worldview. The government, both judges and lawyers, routinely cited defendants' doubt about last year's election as evidence of wrongdoing. The criminal case against Bruno, however, is weak. Oh, shocker. Did he act badly? Yes, he climbed on the scaffolding outside the Capitol building and went into areas he should not have entered. Some of his social media posts are alarming, but not against the law. Did his conduct merit the necessity of a first-time offender spending months in jail even before he has a chance to defend himself? Absolutely not. Okay, thank you, Asan, for being a sponsor of the show this morning. Who says, okay, I'm trying to read this, though. Happy F40 Friday, everybody. I'm not sure what that means. I'm going to have to learn. I don't know. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe that just means happy effing Friday, everybody. I'm hoping that's what it means. And also thank you, Lord Mewington. Pretty sure that's Furry Kitten, who says, meow, 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 me, face paw, me, meow, 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 meow. Yes, thank you, Lord Meowington. Can I get a translator for that, please? Because I don't speak kitten, but somebody could maybe translate that just in the regular chat. Thank you so much, sponsors the show, Lord Mewington. All right. So here's the thing. Here's the evidence, though. So Bruno faces 3 weapons charges. He carried a small baton into the building but did not use it either to attack anyone or to vandalize the building, and various trespassing misdemeanors. The evidence presented in the charging documents is shockingly thin, considering he's been incarcerated for 1 month as of Friday, and it leans heavily on video taken by a New Yorker reporter and Bruno's own Instagram account. Investigators accused Bruno of shoving a police officer in a hallway. The officer involved cannot recall what the perpetrator looked like, but the FBI claims to have video evidence. He is not alleged to have participated in the violent breach of police lines, breaking windows, or otherwise forcibly entering the Capitol. Bruno's lawyers argued in a petition for pretrial release. He is not accused of using the baton or engaging in any other physical violence, property damage, or theft. The government doesn't just view young Bruno as a threat, but also characterizes his parents as threats. Bruno's father was interrogated by federal prosecutors about his private conversations with his sons after the riot, demanding to know why he and his wife didn't stop him from entering the Capitol, what punishment he faced once they returned home, and why they didn't do a better job of monitoring his social media accounts. Really? Isn't Tua 18 years old? Isn't he legally adult? How old is he? He's 18 years old, so pound sand there, federal questioners of whatever. Wait, hang on a second here. Back to where I was. Joseph Kua described their frantic attempts to contact their son while he was inside the Capitol to no avail as cell service was shut down. Here was one exchange from a February 12th detention hearing between Joseph Kua and an assistant U.S. attorney about the post-election rally he and his son attended. Kua, it was a rally around the election results. We should see the real results and that type of thing. The U.S. government says, do you recognize that is not true? Yes, I do. But you recognize also that you participated in that activity with your son. Do you share in the responsibility in your son's belief and his actions? In other words, attending a rally is a crime, and taking your son is akin to mental child abuse, not to mention the audacity to question the election results. But let's remember here, the younger Kua, or whatever his name is 18 years old. He's legally an adult. So whether he took his son to it or not, the son is responsible for himself at 18. Anyway, astoundingly, one prosecutor suggested Bruno has been politically brainwashed by his parents because he doesn't attend school outside the home. I don't believe that home incarceration will work because he's an 18-year-old who's been homeschooled, the Assistant U.S. Attorney Ryan Buchanan told a magistrate judge last month. And so this case did not arise out of him traveling or going different places. It's simply these things that he has ingested, not just from the internet. Therefore, Buchanan argued, they are not suitable custodians, in part because they may have participated in some of this activity as well. Well, do you have any evidence of that? If not, you might want to shut your biscuit hole. Anyway, at one point, the government warned that Joseph and Elise could be in trouble too. It would not be a stretch to say these parents could be charged with crimes of their own, not merely for aiding and abetting the activities of their son, but for unlawful entry on Capitol grounds if, in fact, as the defendant's father testified under oath, they were present in the restricted area of the Capitol grounds on January 6, 2021. Perhaps the government can throw Bruno's parents in jail, too, leaving their younger children to the tender mercies of the foster care system. The Kua case has nothing to do with seeking justice for the melee on January 6 or appropriately prosecuting one of the participants. It has nothing to do with making sure the nation's capital or Kua's hometown remains safe. It has everything to do with punishing a family who dared to show up in support of Donald Trump and dared to question the legitimacy of the 2020 election. Real quick, thank you, GunFox61, for continuing to sponsor the show, and you are
the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
So the government is working or excuse me, so the government is voiding the First, Fourth, and Fifth Amendment for people that politically disagree with, but those that they don't and do actual damage get to walk scot-free. Yeah, that's a political prisoner. Get your gulag number today. Right? Anyway. So, thank you again, Gun Fox. Despite no criminal record and 50 letters testifying to his good character, Bruno Kua continues to suffer in prison while his family awaits word as to whether he can come home. The Kuas have offered to put up their home as bond. Since he's been arrested, everything's changed for us, a tearful Elise Kua told Judge Moss this week. We just want our family together. I don't even want to hear the word politics. Bruno feels the same way. We are completely broken, and that's exactly what the U.S. Justice Department wants. FTG. Now, let's contrast that with this. 1 in 3 BLM Antifa rioters are having their cases dismissed by Biden's Justice Department. By Biden's Justice Department. Federal prosecutors have dismissed over 1/3 of cases from the violent Antifa and Black Lives Matter riots occurring in Portland last summer. Thank you, Johnny Hillcat, with the 556. Translation from Mewington. Oh, thank you. I was wondering. I needed someone to translate. Oh, it says... so what Mewington was saying before was, why the hell are these folks getting chastised for the quote-unquote insurrection while most... Wait a minute. Okay, let me start that over. So here's a translation for Mewington's Streamlabs sponsorship earlier. Why the hell are these folks getting chastised for the quote-unquote insurrection while most of the rioters around Chaz are going with minimal reported punishments? That is a fantastic question, and that's what this article's about. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. And also thank you, Gunfox61, who says, hey, FBI agents, you want to be brown shirts, go fuck off. You can unkindly kiss my all-American veteran ass and suck my big, huge, I'm assuming that's balls. Want to be fake ass mall cops. All right, thank you, Gunfox61. So federal prosecutors have dismissed over 1/3 of the cases from the violent Antifa and Black Lives Matter riots occurring in Portland last summer. KGW reviewed federal court records and found 31 of 90 protest cases have been dismissed by the U.S. Department of Justice, including a mix of misdemeanor and felony charges, a local news outlet revealed. More than half of the cases dropped were dismissed with prejudice, which means the case cannot be brought back to court, and at least 11 of the dismissals occurred on or after the inauguration of President Joe Biden. Now let's just think about that. So these are the federal cases, and the Justice Department dropped 20 of them before Biden was inaugurated. But still, it's still Swampville in the Justice Department, even though the heads were Trump people. Anyway, and some of the cases dropped involve felony charges of assault of a federal officer. Now that's surprising they would drop those, but again, this is Biden's America now. Several people closely involved with the protest cases who asked not to be identified said they expect more federal charges to be dismissed soon. Really? Just because because it was just, they weren't really assaults now. They were kind of just an idea. You know what I'm saying? There's just an idea. So, they can drop those. Hey, how's everybody doing today? Anyone got any big plans for the weekend, by the way? We don't. This is one of the rare weekends where I don't have anything scheduled. So, and depending on what Lady Boomer is doing, it might be just a good weekend for some day drinking. No, I actually have to. I have to actually edit a video this weekend, and I got a couple ideas on a couple things. So we'll see how that goes. Let's keep it going here because I got quite a few articles I got to get to. I'm not even at the top of the hour yet. That's good. By the way, again, I'm going to remind you that in the tabs today, after the show, every article, if you're new here, every article that I mention or read in the show, in the description below this video, if you want to look those articles up, I will have a link that will have all the links to those articles. I also post the show recap and that list of articles in the Discord server and the general tabs section. So if you're ever looking for some of these articles that we read during the show, you can find them at one of those two places. Just a reminder. Let's take a different course here because I want to talk a little bit about the COOF that everyone likes to talk about. I didn't even have that. Okay, there we go. Let me fix this so you can see it. Let's talk a little bit about the COOF. Well, not the COOF, the people who are ending people with the COOF, namely Governor Cuomo. Apparently, Cuomo's advisor had convinced his own Department of Health to lie. To lie even more. No, Cuomo's advisors convinced the Department of Health to admit certain nursing home COVID deaths from the official tally. Now that's very interesting because most states have been, trying to keep they try to classify everything as COVID deaths because, they get certain funds for them. Real quick, thank you, C. Thomas, for sponsoring the show and the channel today through Streamlabs, who says, this story about the COOFs is beyond fucked up. These CIA glow-in-the-darks are desperate to throw the book at good citizens while letting off communist and racial rioters, also known as griftins grievers. Fuck all of BLM and Antifa. I guess the Bidens kind want thought crime to be real. I thank you, by the way, C. Thomas, for sponsoring the show. In most of that, I believe you're correct. I think a lot of the people who they're going to throw the book at the people who did the insurrection. But and a lot of people, I'm pretty sure if you watch the video of some of these people, they didn't have a sense of what they were getting themselves into. The ones who were breaking things and, who fought with police officers, absolutely prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law. But this was not an insurrection, okay? Again, it was a riot, got out of hand. And that I think some people got caught up in it, were egged on by others, but this was not an insurrection. And it's certainly, now we know for a fact that it was not a armed insurrection. But anyway, thank you, C. Thomas. I appreciate you. So anyway, top advisors to Governor Andrew Cuomo successfully pushed the state health officials to admit from a public report the number of nursing home residents who died in hospitals from COVID-19. It was revealed Thursday night. Now, we've known this for a long time, but this seems to be just as of yesterday. They wrote this at this posted 11:31 p.m. The revelation further confirms the Cuomo administration possessed a more complete accounting of the COVID nursing death count during the summer, but waited 8 more months to cough up the true totals after repeatedly stonewalling lawmakers and the media, losing a lawsuit and being subjected to a damning state attorney general report. Last month, the Post exclusively reported that one of Cuomo's top aides, Melissa DeRosa, told Democratic leaders in a video conference call that we froze out of fear that the true numbers would be used against us by federal prosecutors. The July report, which largely defended a controversial and since rescinded administration policy of requiring nursing homes to accept coronavirus patients discharged from the hospitals, had said 6,432 nursing home residents died from the virus. In truth, though, more than 15,000 nursing home residents are now reported to have died in the state from the illness, including in their facilities and hospitals. The senior Cuomo advisor and state health department spokesman admitted Thursday night statements that out-of-facility deaths were withheld in the July report. So they lied, and something we knew they were doing all along. Now, they seem to be, again, they're still throwing Cuomo under the bus. And I'm wondering how long it's going to take for some of these other governors, particularly Gretchen Whitmer, to have this bite them in the ass too. Because Gretchen Whitmer, oh, by the way, she actually recently, I think she lost a suit where they've been withholding stuff, you know, and because some of the bigger media companies are now, they were ignoring freedom of information requests in Michigan, and now some of the larger media is also starting to get into those lawsuits. So I got a feeling you're going to hear a very similar story in the state of Michigan, in the state of New Jersey, in the state of Pennsylvania, and there's one more, and they're all 5 Democratic governor states, but I can't remember the 5th one off the top of my head. But I think you're going to see this happening. Marty, Governor fuck up Wolf. Yeah, I know, Pennsylvania for sure. All right, let's move on. Although now there's some pushback from some of Cuomo's fellow Democrats, this one in particular. Apparently this New York County lawmaker compares Cuomo to the Central Park Five. Says alleged victims have a political motive. Now, it's a very fascinating analogy, if you ask me. Okay, so what this lawmaker is saying is that Cuomo's being persecuted for something that he shouldn't be being persecuted for, like the Central Park Five, who in theory were exonerated by DNA evidence, which, if you really look closely at the Central Park Five case, not 100% true. But I'm not going to get too deep into that. Yes, there was some DNA evidence that proved that another person was involved with the woman who was killed, but or whatever, brutalized. But they have been released from jail thanks to the current mayor of New York. But it's not so simple. But anyway, let's go back to this idiot. A Democratic county lawmaker in Buffalo said Thursday the 3 women who have accused Governor Andrew Cuomo of this is the sexual misconduct one. I know why they're blowing up these cases, but I'll tell you that in a minute. Democratic county lawmaker in Buffalo said Thursday that 3 women who have accused Governor Andrew Cuomo of sexual misconduct are motivated by politics, according to video footage obtained by the Daily Caller News Foundation. The lawmaker, Jeannie Vanal, said during a legislature meeting she was going to vote against 2 county resolutions calling for independent investigations of allegations against Cuomo, saying to do so would be akin to jumping on a bandwagon of the way they did in the Central Park Five. I honestly feel in my heart that there is a political motive to some degree in this. You know what? The political motive is not from who you think it is, Missy. I think. Well, hang on. Let me finish. The thing is going through the facts. To jump on the bandwagon of the way they did in the Central Park Five and other times when people jumped on the bandwagon immediately when there is an accusation, men and women both have the right to be heard and have the whole thing decided. You mean like the Covington kids? Is it similar to that to you? Interesting. And the other part, okay, the other part of this, So I'm not going to vote for either of these two things, she said. The Central Park Five is a reference to 5 teens who were wrongly convicted for the rape and assault of a woman in Central Park in 1989. So see, here's the thing. They were all exonerated in 2002 after another individual confessed to the crime, which is backed up by DNA evidence, according to USA Today. Oh, if you only knew how that... Oh, okay, I'm not going to talk about that. Their so-called exoneration was because Bill de Blasio demanded that they be released. There was a huge, that case went on for years. Yes, another person confessed to the crime and they found DNA evidence that that person was involved in the crime. But the investigators and the people who did the interviews in that case, don't watch what's her name, Ava DuVernay, whatever her director's version of it, because that version is just BS. The investigation, the confessions were not coerced, and they to this day said they never said they had nothing to do with it. But after, well, anyway, I'm not going to go into it. I could talk about this for a while. There's so much evidence that, there's a couple more here. Now here's the other question though. Why is Cuomo being thrown under the bus? Well, here's an article in the American Thinker just happens to be talking about that. Less than a year ago, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo was a darling of the left over his, quote, leadership, end quote, in managing the COVID pandemic in his state. Last April, his daily press conferences were covered in full by Fox News and the other more sycophantic media networks, coverage on par with President Trump's daily briefing. None of the other 49 state governors' press conferences received daily coverage by the national media. In Colorado, Governor Polis' press briefings were only shown on local news channels. Cuomo wrote a book called American Crisis: Leadership Lessons from the COVID-19 Pandemic, and received literary acclaim. The New York Times gushed. Governor Andrew Cuomo tells a riveting story of how he took a charge in the fight against COVID-19 as New York became the epicenter for the pandemic, offering hard-won lessons in leadership and his vision for the path forward. As did, not surprisingly, the Washington Post, an impressive roadmap to dealing with a crisis as serious as any we have faced. Cuomo received an Emmy Award in recognition of his leadership during the COVID-19 pandemic and his masterful use of television to inform and calm people around the world. I'm sure those in nursing homes receiving a new COVID-positive roommate, courtesy of Governor Cuomo, felt quite calmed watching his daily "I'm the governor and you're not" thuggery on television every day. Governor Cuomo is lauded with praise from even the esteemed Dr. Anthony Fauci. He gets a double dose of whatever that was. Anyway, in the PBS interview, we know when you do it properly, you bring down those cases. We have done it. We have done it in New York. New York got hit worse than any place in the world, and they did it correctly by doing those things that you're talking about. Properly? Really? Did Dr. Fauci know about Cuomo sending COVID-infected patients into the nursing homes and then covering it up? While a hospital ship and several makeshift hospitals in New York City sat nearly empty, was Fauci unaware or a part of the slaughter and cover-up? Even the ever loyal to Democrats' New York Times acknowledged The governor's top aide admitted that data was withheld on nursing homes where more than 10,000 New Yorkers have died during the pandemic. The cover-up was known last spring when nursing home and official state tallies did not match, yet the elites, from Dr. Fauci to the media to Hollywood, all praised Governor Cuomo as the king of New York, wishing he was president rather than the Orange Man. Some half-hearted investigations were promised looking into Cuomo's genocide and cover-up. The investigations appear less urgent than the FBI's rapid response to a NASCAR door handle that someone thought resembled a noose. In Cuomo fashion, he punched back with excuses and bluster as the media circled the wagons around him and the other shoe dropped. Now, 3 women have credibly accused Randy Andy of unwanted sexual advances. Killing Granny didn't capture the attention of fellow Democrats, but asking a former aide to play strict poker did. Now the sharp knives are out, with state and federal legislators representing New York calling for Cuomo's resignation. Even Speaker Nancy Pelosi calls the claims credible. Which ones? The babes in the corner that he tried to hit on, or the dead people? Yet there is silence from the myriad of Justice Kavanaugh accusers in the Senate, especially the particularly vocal at the time, Kamala Harris. Or her group stage prop, or her stage prop, Joe Biden. Now, why are tens of thousands of nursing home deaths background noise, but these 3 harassment allegations the last straw? Is it because the woke left views unwanted sexual advances as worse than genocide? Genocide, I've never heard of that before. Or are other factors at play? In politics, there are no coincidences. Cuomo has been a boorish pig for decades and has been New York governor since 2011. His behavior is nothing new, simply ignored as Biden's similar Me Too activities were and are to this day. John Nolte at Breitbart posed an answer that getting rid of Cuomo now is a means of protecting other Democrat governors who also sent COVID-infected patients who also sent COVID-infected patients as bioweapons into nursing homes. I speak of Whitmer, Michigan, Newsom, California, Murphy, New Jersey, Walls, Minnesota, and Gun Fox's favorite governor, Tom Wolfe, who perhaps also wanted to write books and win Emmy Awards and receive praise from Dr. Fauci. Nolte postulated that throwing Cuomo under the bus, removed and burying him as the latest Harvey Weinstein, would at least protect 4 other Democrat governors who did exactly what Cuomo did, while leaving the nursing home genocide bit on the cutting room floor. I believe it is far beyond that. Exposing the nursing home death march could reveal much behind the entire COVID con. A virus from China, a country Trump beat like a drum on trade deals, appears when Trump's economy is breaking records. The medical experts tell Trump to shut it all down. The economy, school mail-in ballots, ballot harvesting, delayed vote counting, all to drag the weakest presidential candidate in recent history over the finish line by allowing enough votes to be found in a very few key cities necessary for electoral college victory. A pre-planned Capitol protest was blamed on Trump, leading to a second impeachment and a mad rush to certify electoral votes. So many coincidences in a world where they just don't happen. How much of this did Cuomo know or participate in? Did any past or present-elected Democrat pressure him to send weaponized patients into nursing homes to inflate their death counts, creating more fear and panic, justifying the above actions to prolong the election? The nursing homes are the tip of the iceberg. Investigating that will lead to many other uncomfortable questions and revelations about the entire COVID con. Best for the Democrats to make Cuomo go away, and quickly. And then they just go on into who might else be involved in this, who in the Biden administration and in the medical smart set might be implicated in a grand COVID con to get rid of Trump and replace him with a deep state stooge. How many Democrat governors are complicit? Perhaps it is simply a power play within New York Mayor Bill de Blasio. Or perhaps maybe it's simply a power play within New York Mayor de Blasio's wanting to run for governor to inflict his lunacy on the entire state, leaving AOC to run for mayor, padding her resume ahead of a future presidential run. God, just shoot me now. But make no mistake about how COVID played out for the benefit of Biden and his backers. A senior Biden advisor, Anita Dunn, admitted the truth. Quote, COVID is the best thing that ever happened to Joe Biden. In a book entitled Lucky, How Joe Biden Barely Won the Presidency. Luck? Coincidence? Fat chance. Anyway, so that article's up if you want to read that one too. And I just realized I didn't move it over. That's brilliant. Okay, let's see. Where are we at? Oh, here's the greatest hit from Eric Swalwell. Does anyone remember this one? Back when he was, he had his China babe out there. Stop wearing face masks. Hashtag coronavirus. This was back on March 4th, 2020, just a year ago today. Remembering that, you know how they're always complaining about how Trump downplayed the virus back in the day? Well, that's Eric Swalwell. Stop wearing face masks. Happy anniversary to Eric Swalwell, supporting Fang's agenda. Stop wearing face masks. It's hard to believe it's been a full year since the Wuhan virus and subsequent power trips of our political betters left many Americans trapped at home, uneducated and jobless. It has been a year exactly since Representative Eric Swalwell, a California Democrat, parroted what we can only assume to be the advice of the Chinese spy he was having humpy with. Stop wearing face masks. Hashtag coronavirus. If you want to read the rest of this, you can. Oh, but wait a minute. Let's see. Eric Swalwell.
The evidence is uncontradicted that the president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election. And the complaint that I've heard from the evidence.
Yes, that's the greatest hits too. Now that was not a year ago today. Or was it though? No, that was in before, but it's funny because he said that Oh no, infrared evidence.
Taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help them cheat an election.
The
complaint that I've heard from taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help them cheat an election. And the complaint that I've heard from taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help them cheat an election.
Okay, I can't do that anymore. Spoiler alert. Oh, Eric Swalwell. Spoiler alert. I am a white man. I know where I can't speak to someone else's experience and pledged to, quote, 1, pass the mic, 2, asked a woman to serve as VP. Yeah, I remember he was saying, well, let's see, is this where he's...
I don't think anyone's identity should hold them.
So this is where he ended his presidential run, and he decided to be all noble and shit and act like he didn't want the vice president to see, as if anyone was going to ever ask him whatsoever. He's such a dolt. He's pretty tall, though. I noticed that in some of the pictures when he's with the other representatives, he towers over them. I would never have pictured that this guy would be very tall. Maybe just because he's such a weasel. Anyway. Oh, and Joe Biden has another day, another gaffe. Joe Biden says Indian Americans are taking over this country. President Joe Biden joked that Indian American people were taking over the United States during a call with the NASA team on Thursday. Biden spoke about Indian Americans as he has talked with Dr. Swati Mohan, an Indian American scientist who played a role in helping land a rover on Mars last week. It's amazing. Indian of descent Americans are taking over the country, Biden said. You know, my vice president, my speechwriter, Vinay, Vice President Kamala Harris's mother immigrated to the United States from India. Biden's speechwriter, Vinay Reddy, is also an Indian American from Ohio. Biden has a history of awkward statements and a growing population of Indian Americans. In 2006, Biden spoke about the rise of Indian immigrants in the state of Delaware, quote, in Delaware, the largest growth in population is in Indian Americans moving from India. You cannot go into a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Way to go, Joe. Anyway, so now Indians are taking over the country. Is that a good or bad thing, Joe? I don't know. It's probably a good thing anyway. They are, there is a population. They do earn above average incomes. Anyway, why have Joe Biden's handlers put him back in the basement? Interesting question from the New York Post this morning. I'm sure. Look, and this is from this is the entire editorial board too, because I wish I had a video of the gaffe from yesterday too, where I guess he was on a kind of a conference call or Zoom call or something with Nancy Pelosi, and it gets the end. He's asked, "Is this where I'm supposed to take questions now?" Like he doesn't know what's going on. He's the president of the United States. Rather saying, well, it's time to take questions. You just said, is this where I'm supposed to take questions? Am I supposed to take questions after this? And there was this really awkward pause. And then the whole thing just went silent. Like it just shuts off. Like he doesn't know what he's doing. I got to tell you, he's America's marionette president. I'll tell you that right now. Okay. It's sure looking like President Biden's handlers are protecting him from the press. Wednesday, he joined a virtual House Democrat. Oh, this is it right here. He joined a virtual House Democratic Caucus event with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, delivered some 10 minutes of some prepared remarks, and then invited questions. At which point, the camera is. Oh, here's the link right here. I'm going to open this up. Watch this. This is just so awkward. There's got to be video to this. Live feed cuts after he says he'll take questions. So watch. Is this one up here? I think it's this one here. Hang on. There's probably going to be an ad. We'll see if it pops up or not. But you gotta watch this. Select boy, I picture him with a space helmet on his head, and she's just ripping off the most inhumane farts. He's been sitting back naked. Oh, I don't know who you're talking about, but I don't know if I want to find out either. Okay, come on. Why is this not working here? Anyway, concerns over President Biden's lack of press accessibility mounted Wednesday evening after the commander-in-chief told reporters he was happy to take questions before having his microphone and camera feed cut off. They're not allowing him to have unscripted questions because he's senile. I'm sorry, he just is. Here, let me see if I can reload this and maybe it'll work this time. Thank you, GunFox61, sponsoring the show again. Pedo Joe here. HR 1 will allow 16-year-olds to vote, and soon consent will be 13-year-old because 13 is better than 18 any day. Vote for me is a vote for China. I mean pedos, grr. I mean vote for Dems. Yes, vote for big tech today and tomorrow. Okay, so that's Pedo Joe. That Gunfox channeling Pedo Joe. Thank you for sponsoring this show. All right, here it is. Let's go. Let's run this back real quick. All right, here's.
I know parts of this and everything else we seek to do are not easy, but people are going to remember how we showed up in this moment, how we listened to them, not specialists, to them.
Who, them, who?
And how we took action. I believe we're going to come through this, and I think that people's memories will be long. And if we continue to stay laser focused on getting shots in people's arms, responding to the economic crisis, it's going to open up a lot of hearts.
He
and
can't
a lot
speak
of doors
either. Listen to this. Hang on.
Shots in people's arms, responding to the economic crisis. It's going to open.
Okay, so did you hear what he said there? And it's just a subtle thing, but he leaves out words and sentences, and that has nothing to do with a stuttering problem. But here, I'll let you finish this after you hear that again. After we get shots in people's arms.
And if we continue to stay laser focused on getting shots in people's arms, responding to the economic crisis, it's going to open up a lot of hearts and a lot of doors for us tomorrow to do the many more things we know we have to do. So I want to thank you all. I really mean it. From the bottom.
He's reading a script.
Thank you.
Now watch. Oh, they didn't show it. Oh, here it is. Here it is right here. Here's. Okay. Wait. Okay, that's not it. They didn't show it. Doggone it. Anyway, he goes and he continues and says, "Oh, now as this is the part where we're going to take questions." And he didn't say he was going to take questions. He asked like the people there, like the people running the event, if this is where he's supposed to take questions. And pregnant pause, and then the thing just shuts off. It's just so weird. Anyway, the incident occurred okay. So concern over President Biden's lack of press accessibility mounted Wednesday evening after the commander-in-chief told reporters he was happy to take questions before having his microphone and camera feed cut off. The incident occurred at the end of the 46th president's appearance at a House Democratic Caucus event where he was joined virtually by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and her members. Biden stated after delivering his prepared remarks, which lasted just under 10 minutes, quote, "So I want to thank you all. I really mean it. I want to thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm happy to take questions if that's what if I'm supposed to do, Nance." He continued, "Whatever you want me to do." But before reporters could get their chance to speak to the president, the feed turned off and the screen appeared to read, "Thank you for joining." Biden has gone longer than his 15 most recent predecessors, going back 100 years without holding a solo press conference. All 15 prior presidents held solo press conferences within 33 days of taking office, according to CNN analysis of data from the American Presidency Project. President Donald Trump held his first solo press conference 27 days after taking office, while President Barack Obama held one 20 days into the job. Thursday marks Biden's 43rd day in office with no press conference. So, they didn't show the mic turning off. But anyway, that's kind of weird. And the answer as to why they're hiding him in his basement, because they know he cannot speak. All right, got a few minutes left. Let me finish this up real quick. Other articles that are in here. 20 attorney general. We talked about HR1, and I know Gunfox is big into this one. Well, 20 U.S. attorney generals deemed HR1 unconstitutional as it sets alarming mandates. 20 attorney generals signed a letter addressed to House and Senate leaders pleading against HR1, which the Democrat-led House passed on party lines late Wednesday evening, deeming it unconstitutional as it sets what they described as alarming mandates leading to the federalization of state elections. And that's the problem. It's not constitutional because the elections of each state are supposed to be governed by each state. And they get to choose how they choose their senators, and they get to choose how they choose their House members, and they get to choose how their electors in the Electoral College are going to vote. And this federalizing of that process is not constitutional. That's my personal opinion. I'm not a lawyer. I do not ask me for legal advice, even though some people on other stations or channels call me Lawyer Dog. But that's because someone I need a lawyer, dog. And anyway, so you can read that one. Another one here, 9 reasons why HR1 for the People Act is disastrous for election integrity. Yeah, it's a nightmare for election integrity. This is a great article, though. Bans voter IDs and verifying voters, which, gee, why would they want to do that? Requires state to register 16 and 17-year-olds. Now, it says to register them, so you may not want the kids to drive after dark, but the little tykes will be able to register to vote and vote under the language. Oh, it is. I thought they took that out. Yeah, no. We gave you a list of things that good reasons why 16 and 17-year-olds shouldn't vote from the 16 and 17-year-olds themselves. Mandates nationwide election day registration, no ID, no checking, no waiting. Mandates mail-in balloting, unlimited ballot harvesting, and early voting, which is, again, what do they call it when they go through a nursing home and just harvest the votes from all the nursing home? There's a name for it, like granny baiting or something like that. IRS allowed to impose political purity tests. Oh my God. As far as organizations that could get tax exempt status, requires registrations of all individuals, not just citizens, but all individuals. Oh my gosh. Allows drive-by voting, mandate drop boxes, which are a sham. Doxes contributors to political action committees, chilling free speech. That's only 8. I thought it said 9. But anyway. And then, let's see. What was else here? Oh, and speaking of which, 2 city councilmen in, what state is this? I can't remember where this is. I think it's in New Jersey, indicted for mail-in voting fraud. Well, I thought it was the safest, most secure way of voting in the planet, and we have the most secure voting apparatus in the United States of America. Oh no, 2 Patterson, Jersey city council members were indicted by a grand jury for alleged election fraud related to the May 2020 special election. State Attorney General Guber S. Grewal announced Wednesday. The investigation began after Patterson City Councilman Alex Mendez won the May special election to fill a council seat. Voter fraud claims soon surfaced. However, the U.S. Postal Inspection Service alerted Grewal's office that numerous mail-in ballots were found stuffed in a Howland mailbox. Hundreds of mail-in ballots were also discovered stuffed in a Patterson mailbox, according to Grewal's announcement. Grewal charged Mendez, Patterson City Councilman Michael Jackson, and 2 others in June. Mendez allegedly approached multiple voters in Patterson, where he was running for office, to collect their official mail-in ballots for delivery. Grewal's office alleged Mendez delivered the ballots to the Passaic County Board of Elections without information identifying the bearer, in violation of state election laws. So anyway, the most safe and secure way of voting, and that's what Democrats want permanently for the entire country. Then the other 2 articles, which I'm not going to get into at all, but just the headlines. Democratic governor dramatically rolls back coronavirus restrictions after Biden attacked Republicans for similar moves. So the state of Connecticut is also doing what Texas and Mississippi are doing. I don't think you're going to hear the backlash about this governor. In fact, Governor Ned Lamont, you might even want to see if you can look that up and see if anyone even knows who it is. But anyway, Connecticut is also going to allow the state to reopen 100% and get rid of the mask mandates. So let's see if anyone bitches about him. Oh, wait. No, he's a Democrat. That ain't going to happen. And then the other articles left. Ron Johnson objects to skipping reading of the 600-page COVID-19 relief bill in the Senate. So they're reading the entire bill. Now, it's going to be interesting to see if any of the news organizations that may or may not have spent time scouring this so-called relief bill, to see if they follow the reading of it and actually find out what's in it. Because there's a lot of stuff in it that really just has nothing to do with COVID-19 relief. And so the senator is forced the Senate to actually read. It's expected to take approximately 10 hours for the Senate clerks to read through the entire bill, which consists of over 600 pages. If they're going to add and Johnson said, if they're going to add nearly $2 trillion to the national debt, at least we should know what's in the bill. Thank you, Senator Johnson. All right. And finally, YouTube blacklists Donald Trump's CPAC speech, suspends the Right Side Broadcast Network channel. So our Right Side Broadcasting, which if you've been watching a lot of Trump rallies or if you've been watching anything on YouTube, you most likely have come across this network. And they covered CPAC, and they were covering a lot of the speeches live, and they covered Donald Trump's speech at CPAC. Okay, they're just, so what happened, they got a 2-week suspension from YouTube because they covered Donald Trump's speech. There were 4 million views before it was censored by YouTube. And here's what the official Twitter account says. The RSBN has been suspended from YouTube for 2 weeks because of the Trump CPAC speech, which violated their guidelines on election misinformation. The video was approaching 4 million views. They also removed it from their platform. Now, they're not the only ones who covered Trump's speech. But anyway, RSBN said that it could have avoided a 2-week suspension had it added countervailing viewpoints to President Trump's claims about election irregularities. In other words, it was only permissible to upload Trump's speech if RSBN also criticized it. That is bonkers. It's worth noting that according to YouTube's terms, our video of Trump's CPAC speech would have been allowed to stay up had we provided countervailing viewpoints. Essentially, we would have had to go on air and say everything Trump just said about election fraud is not true. We won't censor President Trump or push back against things he says that, quite frankly, we agree with. So they suspended them for just showing the speech, period. It's a news event. They showed the news event and earned a 2-week suspension from YouTube. Way to go, YouTube. Holy shnikers. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it a week. Thank you so much for being here. Before you do anything, if you haven't done so already, click the like button if you like what's happening here on this channel. There's going to be a lot more of it. I only have one more week of basketball season, and I've decided to schedule my afternoons where I normally have basketball practice to YouTube time. Not necessarily live streams, but to producing and editing video. I'm going to start getting back into that video thing a little more heavily. I do have more Proverbs. I'm going to change the format of my Proverbs for Modern Times and turn them into YouTube Shorts. If you're familiar with YouTube Shorts, the little short videos that they put in your feed now, I'm going to kind of make them 1-minute videos that hopefully will get a little more viewership. And then also I have I'm still going to work on my minimum wage video probably this weekend. So hopefully I'll get both of those done and have some other content besides live streams. But as you know, the live streams are Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. Please share this stream if you can. Hit the like button. And also, if you'd like to sponsor the show, like many people did today, thank you again. Let's see. I'll go all the way down. Thank you. Fight for Your Rights, GunFox61. Wait, is that today? No, okay, that's today. Fight for Your Rights, GunFox61, Marty, which is GunFox61, Oszan, Lord Mewington, Johnny Hellcat. I think they're related to Lord Mewington, and C. Thomas, and also the first one today was, oh shoot, it's gone. It was who was it? It didn't show up on my list today. Doggone it. Okay, I'll remember tomorrow. But anyway, y'all, thanks again. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Maybe I'll see you. Who knows? I might even stream tomorrow morning just for the hell of it. But we'll see. We'll see how much time I have. But anyway, thanks everybody. I gotta go. My name is Dawg Knight, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great weekend. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the Dawg Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.
Here we go.